Hello, my friends. Amberlynn has uploaded, surprisingly. She said she was going to take a break from YouTube, so I guess it's not that surprising. She was gone for all of one day. Actually, not even that, because she did her members only live. So here she is. I can think of a few reasons why she came back. I think, it could be there were some rumors going around that the reason she was taking a break was because her new caretaker was coming to visit or something. So maybe she heard that and she's, jumping on to sort of try to debunk those rumors. I would say money is part of it, but I don't know, man. With as many members as she supposedly has, she's making pretty good money, I think. So I don't think she has to really worry about, taking that hit. So who knows? She's gonna have some stupid explanation, I'm sure. But yeah, this is called I'm About to Switch Things Up Drastically. I'll believe it when I see it, because I think we've heard basically that same thing for 12 years now. So this is the Weighin, episode 6. Clearly, her weigh-ins are not going very well. They're not going the right direction. I mean, we can all see that. So let's just see why she's back and how things are gonna switch up drastically. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video on Wednesday Weighin. I'm sure you guys were not expecting that because I said I was gonna take a break from YouTube. I did take some time to reflect, and I literally just had my live stream like an hour ago. And with their opinions mixed with mine, which I was already thinking this, I think what's best for me in this moment is to continue making content. Plans obviously can shift.
Yeah, what's best for me is just whatever I'm thinking in the moment. And here's the thing, it was pretty clear that with her cellulitis, which who knows how bad that really was, but she just wasn't feeling well. So what happened is she didn't feel very well. She had this thought that like, I just don't want to do this right now. And then when she started feeling better, she was like, this probably isn't so bad. That's just normal, But this is nothing new. She's done this her entire YouTube career. I hate YouTube. I love YouTube. I hate the haters. I love my supporters. It's just, you just never know what you're going to get.
Circumstances and feelings change. So I'm not going to promise anything. I'm not going to promise the schedule I've done for 6 weeks.
How many times have we heard this before, right? She has started a schedule, done it for usually less than 6 weeks. Usually it's like 3 days. But she does it for a little bit, gets tired of doing it, realizes that it's more work than she thought it would be, and then says, I'm not going to promise any schedules anymore, And that way, because she can't work on a schedule, not long term anyway. She just can't. She's too lazy. She's too physically incapable of sticking to a schedule long term because it's too much work. She doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to feel like she has to do something.
It's what I like. It's what I've been enjoying. I have genuinely loved the schedule so much. And I know so many of you also have as well. So thank you for that. But I'm here now and I'm present. And here's Weighin number 6, you guys. So let's get straight in.
I'm just so proud. She's here now. And she's present. She's present, you guys.
To the 5 questions. How fast can cellulitis happen?
Oh my God. She spent the entire week last week complaining about cellulitis, right? Her vlog was every single day for a week compiled into one video, and it was all complaining about cellulitis and how much it was affecting her and how stupid we were for not understanding how it works, even though she then admitted that the getting it from an open wound is exactly how it works. So yeah, here we go again. We got to talk about cellulitis once more.
Contact with whatever gives you cellulitis versus when it spreads, it could take anywhere from a couple hours to a couple days. I've had times, like recently, where it just took overnight, and there's been times in the past where it literally took 5 days. So it really just depends on the situation, but sometimes it could spread extremely rapidly, really quickly, and that's why.
So I think what's happening here is people were like, okay, girl, you said that you stepped through a flood, and that night you got cellulitis enough to where you could wake up the next morning and realize you had cellulitis. Like, that seems awfully fast. So let's see. So I looked up how fast can cellulitis develop, and it said like kind of within 24 hours it can start showing up. It's more common to start showing up within a few days. So if we're gonna believe that she stepped through the flood, which I don't, but we'll just pretend for now, after she went to bed and then woke up the next afternoon, that's 8 to 10 hours or so. So maybe that could start showing up at that point. It's still a little quick, so it seems unlikely. But even giving her the benefit of the doubt, the flood story is just kind of stupid, and I don't think it's true, mainly because hygiene is a big part of cellulitis. You are far more likely to get bacteria in a cut or in some sort of, skin break if your legs aren't clean or if the area isn't clean. And I just want you to think about this. How does she clean her legs? She can't really bend over, right? She can't reach all the areas of her legs. She can't, even if she's sitting down, which I don't think there's room in her shower for her to sit down. And even if she could, even if there was some way, I guess she could take like a scrubber brush and kind of rub all around her legs. But do you really think she's doing that like every day? Of course not. So it is a million times more likely that she just had some kind of cut or an abrasion or some sort of skin scratch, like she said, and it was dirty and it got bacteria in it. Or she had a cut and she walked through the flood and she didn't wash her legs after that, So either way, she's just not washing herself the way she's supposed to. And it's mainly because she can't. By the way, if you've ever played Halo, the Flood are an alien race of like creepy, gross monster looking things. And so every time I say that she got cellulitis from the flood, that's what I'm picturing, is that the flood came in and, got into her legs.
That's why I make sure to get it handled fast. How many times have you ate inside of a restaurant in the last month? Twice.
So is she claiming that other people are writing these to her? I don't know. Because nobody would say, how many times have you ate? They would have said, how many times have you eaten? Anyway, how many times have you eaten inside a restaurant in the last month? I'm guessing every time she goes somewhere with Mama Lynn, because how else is she going to do it?
Twice. I went to a Mexican restaurant with my mom and my stepdad about 3 weeks ago. And then I went to a Chinese restaurant with my mom and my friend over a week ago, I'd say. I don't really eat much inside of restaurants. Like if I'm ever eating out, it's usually just like a lame meal from Bingo. That's why I never really cared about making my goals about eating.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's not necessarily going to like restaurants specifically, but every time she goes with Mama Lynn anywhere, she's eating, right? Whether it's at Bingo or a restaurant or something, she's going to eat, guaranteed. Because I still think that if Mama Lynn said, okay, Amber, here's the deal. I will take you to Bingo, but we're not going to eat anywhere. You're going to have to just eat at home beforehand. She would stop going, right? Maybe not immediately, but she would stop going, because I think Amber's driving force for going out and doing something is the food. So while I do believe that she's only eating at restaurants every so often, she is still eating at Bingo, which, I mean, I guess that doesn't count. She's clearly not counting it, so I don't know.
Out of my home, more so about the delivery to my home, because that's where I have an issue. But I'm telling you, the food at Bingo kind of sucks.
See, it's the mental gymnastics. The delivery of the food is the problem, which it is. I know it is, but that's not the only problem. It's her portion sizes are the main problem. She eats so much food every time she eats. And she will even tell you that the reason she eats so much is because since she's so big, she has to eat more to get full. But that is her convincing herself that hunger is the problem when it's not.
Diagnosed with lymphedema and lipedema. So in 2022, I went to a specialist. So that's when I was diagnosed.
Oh, methinks she's been watching my videos. I've been talking about this lately.
It was a very embarrassing process. I had to literally take off my clothing. The specialist was all up in my legs, teaching me how to do the massages and teaching my girlfriend at the time, which was Feline, teaching her how to do the massages if she ever wanted to do them. And it was just very embarrassing. A lot of poking, a lot of prodding. And I'm telling you, it hurt. Like the lymph massages that you have to do to like.
Lymphedema requires a lot of real specific kind of treatments on a regular basis, like wearing compression clothing, and those massages, you have to do them pretty regularly. And there are a lot of things that Amberlynn just isn't doing.
Like move the fluid through your body. She was like, you're going to hurt the next day, even after this one massage. Yeah, I didn't believe her. And oh my God, I hurt bad. Yeah, it's an easy diagnosis when it's like super obvious, especially to a specialist. So I saw the specialist a couple times and I learned a lot of things, a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of things to help with it, because it's not curable. This is something else.
The number one thing she could do to help with lipedema and lymphedema is change her diet. But as we have discussed ad nauseum. She refuses to do that because she claims that the only diet that helps the Dimas is keto, which is not correct. It's not keto specifically. It is a low carb, high protein diet. The fat has nothing to do with it. But she claims that the only way to help with the Dimas is keto, but her doctor says she can't do keto because it's high fat. And that'll mess with her gallstones, her gallbladder. So, and her pancreas. Don't forget also her pancreas. There's something wrong with that too. So, she can't do any diet, any specific diet at all. It's a catch-22. What are you going to do? Just stay fat because that's what she's chosen to do. But that's the number one thing she could do to help with the Dimas. And she just absolutely refuses to change her diet in any meaningful way. But on top of that, she should be, if she had lymphedema, she should be doing those massages like all the time, like pretty regularly. That's something you do on a regular basis. You think she's doing that? Hell no. She's not sitting at home giving herself a lymph massage. No way. If she was, she would constantly be talking about how painful it is. She would. Because anything that can kind of garner some sympathy or that she can complain about, she would be doing it ad nauseum. So even if she does have lipolymphedema, she refuses to do anything to help it. And then she spends almost all her time complaining about it. So it's kind of one of those like shit or get off the pot sort of things. If you're going to complain about it, at least try to do something to help it. But she won't. She's too lazy and she loves her yum-yums far too much. Okay, so is it true what Bex said when they said you lied about your past What I Ate Today videos?
Since I've been on YouTube, which I've been on YouTube for 11, 12 years now, I've done hundreds of What I Ate Today videos. And every single time I go into a What I Ate Today video, it is never to deceive anyone. Whether it's an off-track video, whether it's an on-track video, whether it's a look at what I ate from takeout, whether it's look at the fruits and vegetables I ate, whether it's look at the candy, it doesn't even matter. My intent in that video is to film what I'm eating that day.
Pay close attention to the fact that she said, my intent isn't to deceive. Her intent doesn't mean jack shit.
Back in 2019, when my binge eating was really bad, I would binge eat constantly. So this was 6 years ago, but I remember there being...
So if you remember, for years and years and years, she claimed to have BED, binge eating disorder. And there actually is a clip of her saying that she's never actually really been diagnosed, but when she was 16, somebody she was talking to, like a therapist or something, just mentioned binge eating disorder, and she just sort of ran with it.
That was one of the times that I was in the children's shelter, and my therapist, it might have been in passing, but she did say, this is binge eating disorder. I never got a pamphlet that said, oh, you have binge eating disorder or anything like that, but she did tell me this is binge eating disorder, and we did spend a couple weeks talking about it. So maybe as a 16-year-old, I took that and I ran with it.
But if you'll remember, during the weight loss surgery arc, she had to go to therapy. I think she had to go like once a month for a year or something like that. And during that time, she found out that if she has binge eating disorder, they won't let her get the surgery. So all of a sudden she was like, I don't have it. I've never had it. I just overeat. I've never really binged. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because I know a lot of people have different thoughts about it, and it's just safer if I don't talk about it. But I am not a binge eater. I do not have binge eating disorder. And obviously it's taken some time to realize that, because with someone my size, I overeat, obviously. I showed you guys a binge, I think it was in December, and you guys were like, that's just a normal meal. So the way that I see binging is very different than the standard binging. And that's been hard for me to like wrap my head around. The psychologist said, binging is eating 3 times what you normally would as a person, not what is a normal amount to eat as a person, but what is your normal? And I don't do that. That I don't do. I overeat, sure, but I never eat 3 times or 4 times the amount that I normally would eat.
Sometimes she has a diagnosis, sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she has a disorder, sometimes she doesn't. Whatever is convenient for her in the moment.
So this was 6 years ago, but I remember there being 2 times after I did a What I Ate Today video where the video was already edited, scheduled, because I like to do that the day of, where I did end up binging. And since
Okay, she always does this when she's basically admitting to something, right? She is right now admitting that what Beck said is right, that she did eat more than she recorded or posted. But notice that she said, yeah, I remember specifically 6 years ago, 2 times that I did this. And I just don't buy it. I don't believe it for a second. I think she does it regularly. I think she still does it. And I think in her mind, she's thinking that if I say, yeah, I only did it these 2 times, then everybody will go, oh, okay, well, it's only the 2 times, so it's fine. You know, the rest of the time, I'm sure she was being honest. Just those 2 times, because she's telling us now, right? She's being honest about it. So why would she lie about the rest of them? But I don't believe her. She's a liar. Because what she's doing here is admitting that, yes, I filmed a what I ate today, and then afterwards I binged, meaning she probably ate 2,000 or 3,000 more calories than she showed on the video. And earlier she said that she didn't intend to be deceptive. Well, that doesn't really matter because people have always been skeptical and saying you're eating more than you're letting on. And she's always saying, no, I'm not. So even back then, even if it was just the 2 times, you know, people said, hey, we don't believe you. You're eating more than you're saying. And she denied it. So no matter how you slice this, she lied, right? Because she's a liar. She's a lying liar who lies.
since the video was already finished and scheduled and edited, it made it easier for me not to open up about that. A lot of the times, binges are not planned. So afterwards, when it happens, you feel a lot of remorse, guilt, shame, and you hide these episodes and feelings from the people in your life. I would do it all the time because it's hard to even process yourself. So doing it publicly was even worse. When I'm
So yeah, a couple things wrong with that. Number one, yeah, we get that, but you're still lying and you're deceiving. And then when you're called out on it, you denied and denied and denied. You've always said, I'm not eating more than I'm showing. And on top of that, it's still embarrassing. It's still something you don't want to share with the world. So why are we supposed to believe that you're not still doing it? Right? If you post your video and you have it edited and you have it posted and you've already finished it all, and then all of a sudden you get this craving to binge, even though you don't really binge, right? We've covered that. You're not a binger. You're an overeater. What's to stop you from doing that now and not admitting it just like you did back then? Because what I think is happening is you're posting yourself eating, 2,500, 3,000 calories, and then you're saying, that's all I'm going to eat today. Thanks, bye. And then you're going and ordering another 3,000 calories on DoorDash, but you're not admitting it because you're embarrassed, just like you were back then. It's the same thing. I think that's happening now. Because if you weren't doing that, you wouldn't continue to be over 500 pounds. If you ate the way you're saying you're eating, you would lose weight.
I'm filming what I ate today videos. I'm honest in those and I'm not trying to deceive anyone. I'm truly trying to show you what I ate that day. If something like that was to happen now, I would be more on top of letting you guys know.
Says the known pathological liar. I would totally be honest with you guys now. It's very different than it was back then. Why? Why is it different? You're not different. Nothing has changed. Why would you be more honest now than you were back then? You have no incentive to be. So bullshit. I call 100% grade A Wagyu bullshit that you would just be more honest now. You just won't.
Do you like being on GLP-1s? Yes, genuinely I do. Being on Ozempic and then the compounded semaglutide, it genuinely made me feel so much better. Yes, the side effects suck, but I was losing weight. I wasn't constantly thinking about food. I hate food.
I don't believe her. I just don't. I think she may have felt better or something, but there are a couple of reasons why she will never lose weight. Again, she loves her yum-yums, but she is terrified that if she loses a bunch of weight, she'll lose her audience. She is convinced that most people watch her because of her weight. And that's probably partially true. I think she would lose a pretty big audience because people like to talk about how much she eats. And, it's just sort of part of her character at this point. But I think more people are here just for the train wreck of it all. However, part of the train wreck is the fact that she just will never lose weight. So yeah, I don't think that she was happy on GLP-1. She might have liked the way that they made her feel. She might have actually felt better day to day, but I don't think she was happy because she missed the food, even though she claims she hates food. No, she doesn't. And I think she was terrified because if she started losing weight, she was going to start losing money.
I get it, I'm fat, but like 50% of the time, it's like, I hate food.
And I understand what she's trying to say when she says, I hate food. She doesn't necessarily mean she hates eating food. She just hates that food is there and that she wants to eat it so much. Kind of like a drug addict, right? They hate the drug because it ruins their life, but they love the feeling of the drug. If they get a chance to do the drug, they will do it because they love the drug, but they hate it because of all the external factors.
The other 50% of the time, I love food. Like, I'm just like a walking contradiction. But during those moments where I hate food because I feel like it controls me, GLP-1s take away that control and it just feels amazing. I'm actually interested in going on a GLP-1 again. Yes, I am. I'm going to be looking into it and I will definitely keep you guys updated in my Weighin videos.
So now we need to update the cycle. Whoever made the cycle needs to update it because the GLP-1 stuff needs to be in, I'm guessing it would be in step 1, starting Ozempic or starting a GLP-1. And then in step 3, she's going to quit it again. Because, and I said this back when she got on semaglutide last time, but it's not a long-term solution. We don't really know the long-term effects, but it also is one of those things that once you start it, you have to take it forever. And if you stop, all the weight will come back. So she can't really even do it long term. The amount that she would have to take to make it a long-term thing would be dangerous.
I'm a bit nervous about the gallbladder stuff because taking GLP-1s can increase gallbladder pancreas issues. And
she just has figured out that her gallbladder and pancreas can be an excuse for everything. Right? If she doesn't want to do a thing, gallbladder, you guys, you know, I can't change my diet because of the gallbladder. My doctor said, I'm following doctor's orders, you guys. I am very responsible, you guys. Shut up.
First time I ever took Ozempic, that's the reason why I stopped it. So it's always this weird thing in the back of my head. But this time I want to get my labs done and I want them to check my gallbladder first. If they don't feel like that has to happen, then okay, good. Which risk is more severe? Which risk is more dire? Me staying this size and dying young, or me having a
if I had my bingo card, I would definitely mark fake crying because we're not buying it, right? We're not buying that you care that you're this big.
A gallbladder attack. GLP-1s are amazing for people like me, people who genuinely cannot seem to get it under control.
Now, morbidly obese people can take it, and you know, if the right person takes it, they can kind of get a jump start on losing weight as long as they then change their lifestyle. They have to start doing diet and exercise along with it so that when they stop taking it, they're ready to continue on their weight loss journey without it. Or they have to take it forever. And she can't do that. She can't stick to anything long term. She just can't.
GLP-1s are amazing for people like me, people who genuinely cannot seem to get it under control and who will have.
It's frustrating to hear her say, people like me that can't get it under control. The problem is she doesn't even know what it is. I assume she's talking about her weight or her appetite or something like that, but she's never going to get to the root of the problem because she's too lazy and she just won't put in the work to actually get it under control, whatever it is, which is likely some combination of mental illnesses that she will just never actually address, never actually get help for. So she thinks this GLP-1 is going to be a magic shot that will get it under control, but it won't. Until she addresses the root of the problem, it's just going to be waiting for her once she inevitably quits GLP-1 again.
Most medicines are like that. There is so many risks and risks and risks, but they're made because they outweigh the risks. How they're going to help an individual outweighs the side effects that could happen. So let's get it.
Honestly, that is maybe the smartest thing she's ever said. That's actually very true, right? When you see the side effect list of basically any drug, it's terrifying. Now, and I'm not saying big pharma is some altruistic system because it's not, it's evil. But generally speaking, if they are releasing a drug, they have tested it enough to figure out that it is far more likely to help than to harm. And the risks are low enough that they can feel comfortable prescribing it to the general public, you know? So yeah, she's right on that.
Into the goals that I had last week. First one was drink 3 waters a day, and I succeeded in that. Drinking water has just become like second nature to me. And my second goal was to beat the feeling of defeat and do not give up. And I did that. So
okay, let's see what she says in her little blurb here.
while I was filming this, I forgot to say what my goal is for this coming week.
Oh, okay. I'll get to that in a minute. But beat the feeling of defeat and not give up. What are we doing here? Right? Like, if she really had the stick-to-itiveness that she claims, right? She just is constantly saying that she's not a quitter and she never gives up. If that were true, she would have at least lost 15 pounds, just something at this point, right? She is giving up, right? She is giving up personified.
So while I was filming this, I forgot to say what my goal is for this coming week. That is literally just focusing more on if I want to go on another GLP-1, to do more research and figure that all out. So let's talk about.
So her new goal is just to think real hard. GLP-1. I'm sure she will, but it doesn't matter. None of this matters, right? When it comes to her weight loss bullshit, none of it matters at all. Because in a month, we're going to be right back where we are now. Just like always, just like we've always been. And it'll probably be less than that, but generally speaking, you can take a moment in time for Amberlynn when she says, I'm going to do a thing or things are going to change. And in 1 month, if you were just to skip ahead in time 1 month, you were going to be right where you were.
How my week went. So my cellulitis is actually improved, so I'm not as swollen, so that's a plus already. I was eating kind of like shit, but I was staying below my calories. And because of that.
Okay. Yeah, she was eating below her calories. Now, was she eating below her 3,400 calories or her 2,600 calories? Because she has claimed that both are what Noom suggested. And she started saying she had to stay below 2,600 because 3,400 is way too high. You guys, I'm never going to lose weight if I eat 3,400 calories a day. And then last week, she said, you guys, I did a really good job. I stay under my 3,400 calories. And we were all like, I thought you said 2,600. But of course, she then added that ChatGPT, good old Doc ChatGPT, suggested that she only eat 2,200 to 2,400 calories. And I mean, she's not wrong. She would lose weight pretty quickly if she ate that amount of calories. But I'm going to guess she's saying that she stayed under 3,400 because we know she could lose weight eating 3,500 calories a day or so.
I did lose weight. It doesn't matter what I eat. As long as I stay in that calorie deficiency, I could literally eat.
It's a deficit. I mean, she has so much time on her hands. You'd think she would Google something at some point. She has said deficiency for so long. It's a calorie deficit. 2,000
calories in ice cream and still lose weight. But it doesn't matter what I was eating. I was just under my calories. So it showed up on the scale for sure. But I will say that every single day I wanted to give up. And I'm exhausted. I'm so freaking exhausted fighting with myself. So I want to switch things up. And if that is me taking another weight loss injection, then that's me taking another weight loss injection. I'm going to try to figure that out privately.
Oh, good. She's doing things different this time. Just like she did things different last time and the time before that. And the time before that, she was really excited because she was really changing it up. But then the time before that, guys, it's going to be totally different this time. I've got it under control. The time before that, she was like, I just got to do the damn thing. The time before that, she was like, I started this new thing. You guys are not going to believe it's going to be awesome. The time before that, she was so stoked, you guys. It's going to be totally different.
And I will keep you guys updated. So as for the weigh-in, last week, I was 521.6. And this week, I was 514.2. So yes, I'm
bullshit. No way. She lost, was it 7 pounds? She looks bigger this week than she did last week. She is looking bigger every week. So here's a picture of the weekly weigh-in last week, number 5. And just compare it to what we're seeing this week. And you tell me, does it look like she's losing weight? So I'm not usually an Amberlynn weight truther. And I usually think she probably weighs a little more than she's saying, but I don't think it's outrageously more than she's saying. But the fact that she's claiming that she's losing weight right now is just a lie. It's just a flat out lie. She is not. She looks bigger this week than she looked last week. She just does.
I'm down 7.4 pounds. And normally I would feel proud. Anyone would feel proud. And Amberlynn Reed would be on here saying, wow, I'm so proud of myself. But I'm not. I know my pattern. I know my cycle.
It's because she's lying. She would be proud of herself if she actually accomplished something like that.
I know how I am. I will lose the 7 pounds and then I will gain them right back. I need to break the pattern. I need to break the cycle. I can't keep being proud of myself for loving myself for a minute and then proceed to hate myself for days. I can't treat my body good for a minute and then treat it like trash for days. I need to break the cycle. And I've reached a point where I'm like genuinely scared. I'm genuinely scared I'm not going to. Like, I should be proud.
She's reached the point for like the 8th time, right? She has said these exact words several times. You guys, I'm so scared. I'm scared I'm gonna die young. I'm scared I'm at the point of no return. I'm scared that I've done too much damage to my body. Like, she's said this before. How does she not know that?
I should be so proud that I lost those 7 pounds, but I'm not, because this has been my life. Okay.
Well, and here's the thing. She is not wrong as far as she can't be proud of losing 7 pounds and then celebrate and gain it all back, right? That's her usual pattern. But the way she words it is, I can't love myself and lose 7 pounds and then go back to hating myself and gain it all back. Like, that's not really what's happening. You're not hating and loving yourself. And that's the problem. You have convinced yourself that it's something that you can do in your head, that you just need to love yourself the right way, or I just need to not hate myself. That's not going to help you. You need somebody who is a professional to give you actual help.
Yeah, of course I can lose 7 pounds. I can lose 14 in 1 week. I've done it multiple times.
Wait, hold on. I thought that with the Dimas, you can't lose weight. I thought it made it so hard and so basically impossible to lose weight that it's just not like everybody else, you guys. My metabolism and my lipedema and lymphedema, you guys, I can't lose weight like everybody else. People are saying that I could lose 14 pounds in a month, but that's just not realistic, you guys. Apparently it is. It's almost like if you follow the diet that you're supposed to follow and you do what you're supposed to do, you will lose fucking weight. I mean, it's crazy. I know it's crazy. Even she knows it works.
But I gain it back. That's what I do. I lose the weight and then gain it back. I lose the weight and then gain back more. I lose the weight and then gain back more times too. And it's just, I'm exhausted, I'm defeated, and I'm ready to choose my risk. Because either way, there's going to be a risk.
She's already been on the GLP-1s, right? So what is she talking about the risk? Like, she's already done it. And she quit. She always gets on these soapboxes about, I've just got to do better for me. I've just got to make the right choices. Like, yeah, you've said this 1,000 times.
Enjoy this weigh-in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Got her. So she's back, and she is delusional as ever. I mean, she wasn't really gone, but, you know, and she's saying the right things, but she has said the right things 1,000,000 times. So none of this matters because we know Amberlynn. We know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, at this point, most of us can probably predict with some pretty decent accuracy when it's going to end, right? When whatever she's going to do next is going to end. She starts GLP-1 and we all start kind of taking bets, right? It's going to be 2 weeks, maybe a week, 3 weeks, something like that. But we can always see the beginning of the end, you know, once she starts complaining about some side effects or how she's feeling on it or whatever, it always is the beginning of the end. So, I mean, this is nothing new. She thinks it is. She always does. She always thinks she's got some sort of new resolve, right? She's back in the fight, and this time is going to be different. Just like last time and the time before that. And that's just how she rolls. Is she says the right things. She knows what she's supposed to do. She just doesn't do it. She never has, and she never will. Maybe she has been watching my videos because lately I've been a little bit less generous, I guess, with assuming that she could ever turn it around. I've just been flat out saying she is not capable of turning it around. She's just not. She cannot lose weight unless she gets help. Somebody else is going to have to help her. She can't do it on her own. But most of the videos that she does that have to do with weight, I've been saying she is just not capable of losing weight. So maybe she's been watching. I don't know. Maybe that kicked her into high gear. No, because she's not capable of losing weight by herself. She's just not. So, nah, she won't actually do anything different this time. So if you're worried that at some point she's gonna actually turn her life around, become a great person, and we'll have nothing to talk about, I think we'll be fine. I mean, us in Girl World, we're gonna be eating good until the inevitable happens, you know, which hopefully will be a long time. You know, we want her to last a long time. We want her to be on the internet for a long time. So I don't wish ill upon her or anything like that. But it's gonna happen one day, and like I've been saying kind of recently, stuff is gonna start catching up to her pretty quickly. And even if it's not the inevitable, it will be all these health issues, and her body's gonna just start breaking down, and things are gonna start falling apart. And she is going to start feeling it pretty soon, and it's going to really suck. Because right now, I think she is very lucky that she doesn't have stuff like diabetes and, you know, high blood pressure and heart issues, which she may, and she may not be telling us about it, but, you know, her joints and all kinds of stuff are just gonna start falling apart, and she is going to really wish she had done something sooner. But by then it'll be too late. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.